Yay! Hi guys! My name is Lauren Dragon Cook and I am a spiritual teacher. And I am so excited to be here with you today and to be talking about something that has come up for me repeatedly the last few weeks, as well as my clients. And if you know me, if you've worked with me before, then you know that there's always themes that are at play. There's always themes that are present within a week. And this is one of those things that I think need to be talked about. And so, yay! Hi guys! Hi, thank you so much for joining. Okay, so what I'm talking about today is something that came up for me again recently. And I woke up today. It was a beautiful day. Woke up today, hopped on social media, which I know better, right? Like I know better than to start my day off by consuming what other people are putting out there, because it doesn't allow for me to actually be in my own divine self-expression, right? And I saw a couple of posts that triggered the shit out of me. And I'll go into a little bit of detail, but not too much. So the first post was a colleague, a friend that is new to the spiritual community. They are new to serving others, and rock on, right? Like rock on for stepping into your gifts and stepping into your truth. The thing that really triggered me, and I had to sit with this, but the thing that triggered me was that they don't have a lot of experience in working with others. They don't have a lot of backing behind what it is they're helping people heal through. And so that becomes a little bit rocky when you are actually helping people through their own wounds, their own traumas, their own healing, when you yourself are proclaiming to be able to lead them, help them, guide them, right? And you have all of these followers, you have all of these people that are like, oh my God, yes, sign me up. How do I get started? How do I do this? Blah, 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 right? Okay, cool. Good for you though. Good for you for putting yourself out there. That's awesome. It triggered me because here I am. I've been at this work for a while, and to get the kind of response that this individual got on this post about this new service that she's offering, it was very triggering for me, right? So there was the first little fun tidbit. Secondly, there was another post from a local healer who essentially was looking for validation, essentially was proclaiming that she performed this service because this other healer was scamming a client of hers. She came to the rescue like a knight on a white horse and provided all of these things. But if you read between the lines of the post, you could feel the energy of it, right? You could feel the energy of it, the yearning for validation. And what that did for me was a couple of things. Instead of having over 300 comments on this post saying, oh, you're so wonderful. Thank you so much for all that you do. And, you would never do that. You are this fantastic healer, all of these things. I was the only person to actually take a moment and say, you need to call this healer out that was scamming your client. Essentially, they were saying something along the lines of, if you go to anyone else, they're not going to be able to help you. There's a curse on you and only I can take it off. Like that kind of bullshit, right? Like, I'm not here for that. I'm not giving any energy to that. Don't care to even do that. But what I took a moment to do, instead of inflating this person's ego that posted this, because that's essentially what it was. There was no information being given. There was no answers. There was no solution. It was like, look at what I did. It was this great thing. Now everyone love on me, right? So like wounded healer energy. Won't go there either. What I did was I said, you know what? You need to call this scam artist out. You need to call this person out. And instead, I said, you need to call this person out because what you're doing is you're actually perpetuating the stigma that's associated with the line of work that we do, right? Because there's this need she felt this need to prove herself and the work that she does and that she's actually a psychic and all of these things. So I said, you need to call this person out because what you're doing is you're basically continuing to fuel this old outdated paradigm that needs to die. Right? Like, is this making sense to you guys that are tuning in live or catching the replay? Let me know. And so what I did was I said, call this person out because you're disempowering the followers. You're disempowering the people that are reading this post because they're feeling as though you're the only one that holds the truth. You're the only one that has the answer and you're the only one that they can go to, right? So her response to me was something along the lines of send me a private message. No, I'm not going to send you a private message for a multitude of reasons, but I digress. So the reason why I'm coming on here, guys, and I'm going live, which I never do, and I'm kind of digging at the moment because it's like allowing me to flow like freely without boundary. The reason why I went live is because I had to really sit with it. Why was I so triggered? Why was I sitting there and why was I getting like frustrated and angry and feeling rage? Why? Why was I feeling all of those things? Like, yes, I'm a Leo. Yes, I'm a fire sign. Yes, I'm like, feisty. But really, what was going on under the surface? And for me, knowing that my divine energy center is truth, I was feeling a lot of lack of integrity, and mostly in the second post that I was talking about with the scam artist and all that. But I was also feeling this lack of integrity. And integrity, truth, right? And so I really had to sit with it, and it just made me realize that the work that I do is not some fad, right? I'm not looking for followers. I'm not looking to be validated. I am genuinely taking you on this journey of healing in whatever way that may show up for you. I'm taking you I'm helping you to empower yourself. Never, ever, ever do I want to disempower you by saying I have the answer and you don't have the answer. So I'm going to give you the answer, but only if you pay me all of this money. So I really had to sit with it today. So triggers, guys, triggers are mirrors for areas of within you that need a little bit of light. Shined, shimmied. That need light brought into the space. They're areas that maybe you've been hiding from. They're areas that maybe you have pushed down or pushed to the back of the closet because they aren't comfortable, right, to navigate. They're not comfortable to look at. Maybe it's like the cellulite on the back of our thighs that we don't want to acknowledge is there, but we know it's there. Does that make sense? So triggers are actually a really helpful and powerful tool for your own ascension and your own healing, your own embodiment, right? And so I felt like I needed to come on here and not to blast anyone, not to, talk smack, because that's not who I am. That's not what I do. But I do stand in integrity and I do stand in my own truth. And I just want to really encourage you guys to feel things deeper. If something triggers you, then instead of getting like fiery, feisty like I did initially, and that's okay if you do initially, right? Like it's okay because that's part of the trigger. That's part of what it's designed to do, is to really be like a red flag and be like, there's something going on here, right? And I had to sit with it. I really had to sit with it. And I had to process it and I had to move through it. But what it allowed me to do was to realize and understand that I am not this superficial healer. I'm not looking to heal people to like kind of get my own rocks off. That's not who I am. That's never who I've been. But it's what seemed like was getting the attention this morning. It seemed like it was what was wanted. It's like, and I don't make posts like that, right? And so my ego came into play as well. And I was like, well, how come I don't get over 300 comments on a post like that saying like, good job, Lauren, right? Like, why don't I get all of these likes and loves and like all of these things like when I make a post? And it's because I don't attract the people, the clients, the friends. I don't attract the following that is looking for a reading that's going to be like, oh, you're going to have a great month. Good for you. No, I'm looking, my community is comprised of people that want to go deeper. They look at the shadows, but guess what? It's uncomfortable as fuck to look at our shadows, right? It's uncomfortable. There's no comfort in it. And so our planet is going through this level of integration, but also the frequency is shifting. And so I had to remind myself that as well. So I hope that if nothing else, this resonated for you. Maybe you've been triggered recently. Feel free to drop it in the comments below if it's something that, if you did find yourself triggered recently and maybe you just haven't sat with it yet and you would, benefit from having someone help you see like, okay, what could this have been a trigger for? Like feeling into it. Or maybe you're going to be triggered soon and maybe it's something that, you'll remember when you are triggered, because they are mirrors into the places that are dark within your own psyche and that need a little bit of light brought into that darkness. Because guess what happens when you bring light into darkness? You need that contrast. A trigger is a contrast for you to be able to see it clearly. But once you're able to see it clearly, that is when you begin to see the multitude of growth occurring. And I use the word growth loosely because growth implies that there was something wrong to begin with. There's nothing wrong, but it just means that there's something that could be brought into wholeness. There's something that could be brought into more of completion versus just pushing it to the back of the closet and pretending it's like it's not there. So I'd love to hear if this, resonated for you. Speaking serious truth. Oh, yay, 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 yay. Oh, that's so good. I'm so happy that this resonated for you. And again, I wasn't coming on here to blast anyone. I wasn't coming on here to talk smack. It was simply a moment of awareness that I had for myself that I think so many of us can become triggered by certain things. And then it just leaves us in this terrible mood for the rest of the day, right? And it doesn't need to be like that. Sometimes triggers are just helping you to pinpoint what it is you need to bring light to. So sending you all so much love. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, and feel free to, if this is really resonating for you, to share. Feel free to share it on your stories, share with a friend, because I think that so often, and especially with the climate of frequencies and whatnot at the moment, it's very easy to kind of get stuck in our own shit, and it can very much begin to pile up. It doesn't need to be that way as long as you let even a crack of light in. All right, guys, I'm sure, be chatting with you all again very soon. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to get triggered by some shit tomorrow and I'll be back on here again. All right. Bye, guys.